Nobody ever told you this, but the first hours of your day don't belong to the world. They belong to your mind. Bob Proctor understood this. While most people wake up rushing, checking notifications, worrying about bills, remembering all the things they have to handle, he did the exact opposite. He woke up for himself. Have you ever wondered why, even when you work so hard, life seems to play the same scenes over and over? Like you're stuck in a movie you never chose, a script someone else wrote for you? And the most frustrating part, you feel like you have potential, but it's as if something invisible is holding you back. That feeling of being stuck comes from your subconscious mind. And Bob knew that. He used to say, what you do in the first hours of your day determines what you're going to create in your life. Just create. Because you're not here just to react. You're here to create a new reality. And the secret starts the moment you wake up. While most people waste this sacred time, Bob used those hours to tap into an elevated mental state, a space between sleep and wakefulness, where the subconscious is still open, receptive, and flexible, like fresh clay in the hands of a creator. And do you know what he did there? He visualized, with deep focus, with intention, with feeling. Before he spoke to the world, he spoke to his future self. Before replying to messages, he answered his own soul. Who am I becoming today? This moment is not small. It's the most powerful moment of the day, because it's the moment before the world touches you. And what you do there will set the frequency you carry for the next 24 hours. Imagine your mind like fertile soil. At dawn, it's fresh, clear, moist, ready to receive the seed of your creation. But what do you plant? Anxiety? Fear? Repetition? Or vision? Clarity? Purpose? Bob chose to plant vision. He knew it wasn't just what he did during the day that shaped his reality. It was what he thought before the day even began. Now pause and honestly reflect. What do you think about the moment you wake up? Your body gets up, but what does your mind awaken to? Have you ever realized that, for years, you might have been programming your life to repeat itself without even noticing? What if you used those first hours to give commands to the universe? What if you decided, first thing in the morning, today, I act like someone who's already prosperous. Today, I connect with my most powerful version. Today, I am the creator. Bob did this every single day. And he didn't do it expecting instant results. He did it because he understood one thing. Your outer world is simply a delayed reflection of the image you hold inside. That's why he visualized, even when he hadn't seen the results yet. Because he knew, reality is shaped by vibration, and vibration is shaped by charged emotion in your thoughts. Visualizing wasn't the luxury. It was a commitment to his destiny. If this is making sense to you, keep listening until the very end. In the next chapter, you'll discover exactly what Bob Proctor did before speaking to anyone, and how this simple ritual can transform your mind and your reality. Have you noticed how some people always seem to be in sync? Like the universe is working in their favor? They don't rush. They don't panic. But everything flows. Everything comes. Bob Proctor was like that. And it wasn't luck. It was an inner system. An invisible ritual. But an incredibly powerful one. Before opening his mouth, before answering any call, even before talking to his team, he would write. He wrote as if he was describing a scene that was already real. Because to his mind, it already was. Imagine this. A man wakes up, in silence, sits down before a blank page, and begins to declare, not what is, but what will be, with conviction. It's not a to-do list. It's not cold, distant goals. It's a vivid portrait of the life he's creating. He would start his day writing, I am so happy and grateful now that I'm earning X thousand dollars a month. I'm living in the home of my dreams. My mind is aligned with infinite abundance. Not as a wish, but as a fact. He wrote in the present tense because he understood one of the deepest principles of mental creation. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between real and imagined. It only responds to what is emotionally repeated. And that's why he wrote every single day. The same phrases, the same visions, the same scene with new emotions. Because each repetition carried more energy, more clarity, more vibration. This silent ritual was like planting seeds in fertile soil every day, watering them with faith, without watching the clock, without demanding immediate results. Bob wasn't asking, he was affirming, he was creating. And now the question is, have you ever written, first thing when you wake up, the life you want to live as if it's already real? Have you ever put down on paper in detail what your ideal daily routine looks like? How much you earn? How you feel when you wake up? Who you live with? What you wear? What you drive? Or do you keep replaying the same limited reality in your mind every day, feeding what already exists, instead of programming what you truly want? Bob knew that for the world outside to change, he had to command the world within. Writing was his way of communicating with the subconscious. But not just any writing. It was an emotional declaration. He wrote as if sending a direct command to his own soul. As if saying, "This is who I am. Now align everything with this." And over time, people started saying he was lucky, that things always worked out for him, that he seemed in the flow. But it wasn't magic. It was energetic discipline. The same discipline you can apply today, tomorrow, and for your entire new life. Because this morning ritual isn't about controlling what happens. It's about becoming someone who naturally attracts what they desire. If you're feeling this energy, stay with me. In the next chapter, we'll dive into what Bob called the mental movie, and how he used imagination as a spiritual technology to shape the future. Imagine this. You're in a dark room. There's a screen in front of you. You're the only viewer, but also the director, the writer, and the lead actor. This is your mental movie. Bob Proctor did this every morning. He'd close his eyes and start projecting his new life. Not like some distant fantasy, but like he was reliving a memory that hadn't happened yet. He called it the most powerful practice you can do with your eyes closed. And it wasn't just imagining any scene. It was feeling it, stepping inside it, living it from within. Most people imagine the future as a shy wish, like they're just daydreaming. But Bob did it differently. He built an entire movie, with images, with colors, with smells, with sounds, with details so vivid that the brain couldn't tell it was just imagination. Because, neurologically, there's no difference between what you see in the world and what you see clearly in your mind. Now imagine yourself doing the same. You wake up, sit quietly, close your eyes, and begin. You see yourself getting out of a comfortable bed, in a place you love. You feel the floor beneath your feet. Maybe it's wood, marble, carpet. You walk to the window and take in an inspiring view. You feel gratitude. You smile. You take a deep breath. And you know, this is the life you've created. Not only is this kind of visualization weak? Is it just an illusion? Or is it an intentional frequency being broadcast into the universe? Bob used to say, the reason most people don't manifest what they want is because they don't see it in detail. They don't live it from within. He treated visualization like emotional training, because the more you feel it, the more you believe it. And the more you believe, the more you act like you already are. Here's the crucial point. It's not enough to just see pretty pictures. You have to embody the character. You have to see it with the eyes of your soul. Feel like you're there right now. Breathe differently. Think differently. Not like someone who wants it, but like someone who already has it. That's the secret of the mental movie. You're not imagining the future. You're tapping into its vibration right now. And when you hold that image long enough, the universe starts to respond. People show up. Ideas emerge. Unexpected opportunities knock at your door. But none of this happens if you only dream. You have to project, repeat, feel it, dive deep. Here's the question. What movie have you been playing in your mind every single day? Are you seeing yourself winning or failing all over again? Are you picturing yourself thriving or just barely surviving? The mind is a projector, and reality is the screen that reflects what's inside. Bob Proctor knew this. That's why every day he watched his future. It wasn't daydreaming. It was directing. He saw himself as the man who had already made it. And because of that, he became that man. If this is resonating with you, stay with me. In the next chapter, we'll dive even deeper. Why visualization only works when you change your inner identity. And how Bob used a psychological trick that turned desire into certainty. You can repeat 1,000 affirmations. You can visualize every day. You can write goals, stick posts, listen to subliminal audios. But if deep down, you still see yourself as broken, as someone who needs to prove their worth, nothing changes. Bob Proctor said, "You will never outperform the image you have of yourself." That phrase is a key. Imagine your mind like a thermostat. If it's set to 72 degrees, and the temperature outside changes, the system automatically adjusts back to 72. That's what happens with your identity. You can make money. You can hit a peak of success. You can even experience moments of true fulfillment. But if your identity is still programmed for scarcity, you'll sabotage it. You'll slip back into the old pattern. Imagine your mind like a thermostat. If it's set to 72 degrees, and the temperature outside changes, the system automatically resets to 72. That's exactly what happens with your identity. You can make money. You can hit a peak of success. You can even live moments of fulfillment. But if your identity remains wired for scarcity, you'll sabotage it. You'll return to the old pattern. That's why Bob didn't just visualize results. He visualized himself as a new person. He saw himself as a leader, a millionaire mindset, a channel for prosperity, a free spirit. He didn't just wish for it. He became it internally. This is the point almost nobody truly understands. The universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you believe you are. You can want financial freedom, but if deep inside you still feel small, limited, unworthy, your vibrational field won't hold abundance. You might desire a new relationship, but if deep inside you still feel rejected, unloved, invisible, you'll attract more of that same disguised loneliness. The real question was never, what do you want? The real question is, who are you committed to becoming? Bob taught his students to make a radical shift in their self-image. Prosperity is a reflection of identity. You don't attract what you want. You attract who you are. That's why, during his visualizations, he didn't just see the new car. He saw himself getting into that car as a prosperous man, with confidence, with poise, with ease. He didn't just imagine the money. He saw himself making decisions like a wealthy person. This is the subtlety that turns a dreamer into a manifestor. You have to rehearse your new identity, live it from within, until the outside world has no choice but to reorganize itself around you. Now stop and think, who have you been when no one's watching? What's the tone of your quiet thoughts? Are you acting like someone who has faith? Or like someone just waiting for the next disappointment? Identity isn't what you say to others. It's what you silently accept. Here's an exercise Bob used with his students. Every morning, upon waking, ask yourself, how does the person who already has the life I desire act? And for 5 minutes, act like that person. Breathe like them. Walk like them. Decide like them. This is the beginning of rewiring your code. You're not here to be just another face in the crowd. You're here to unlock the mind that controls everything. Because in the end, what you really want isn't about having, it's about being. If this is starting to click for you, don't stop now. In the next chapter, we'll dive into what Bob called the bridge between the invisible and the visible, feeling, and why you should never try to manifest without aligning your emotional vibration. You can have a clear vision. You can have powerful words. You can even have mental discipline. But if you don't feel it, nothing moves. Bob Proctor said, feeling is the fuel of manifestation. Without it, you're just thinking, but not creating. Have you ever tried to affirm something, but deep down felt it was a lie? You'd say, I am prosperous, but inside, something screamed, that's not true. That dissonance is the block, because it's not the thought that manifests. It's the emotional state behind it. Imagine the universe as an antenna. It doesn't respond to what you say. but to the frequency you're vibrating at. And what sets that frequency? Your feeling. Bob explained it with brutal simplicity. You're always attracting, not by what you consciously think, but by what you consistently feel. And here's the game changer. Feeling comes before evidence. You don't wait for reality to change to feel good. You feel good so reality changes. It's like telling the universe, I already am this. I'm already vibrating at this frequency. Now bring me everything that matches it. That's why when you're grateful, good things come. When you're at peace, solutions show up. When you feel love, doors open. You become a magnet. Bob used this as a ritual. During his visualizations, he didn't just see the scene. He activated the feeling. He asked, what's it like to be there? How do I feel now that this is real? How does my body respond to this reality? He'd put his body into the emotional state of the desire already fulfilled. And this is the code. The body feels, the field vibrates, and the universe responds. Most people are stuck in a loop. They wait for reality to change before they change how they feel. But creation works the other way around. You need to step into the inner state of what you haven't seen yet, and hold that with faith, because what you feel right now is what you'll live later. Now, close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what feeling do I want to live in my life? Peace? Security? Joy? Empowerment? Freedom? And now, where do you feel that emotion inside you right now? If you can't access it, it's because you're waiting for life to give you permission, a permission you can create yourself. Bob never waited. He intentionally awakened that emotional state every single day until it became automatic. And you can do the same. Here's the exercise. When you visualize your new life, pause and ask yourself, how do I feel now that this is already real? Allow yourself to fully feel it. Imagine the relief, the joy, the gratitude, the freedom. Don't block it. Don't judge it. Feel it. That's the language the universe understands. If this is stirring something deep within you, dive deeper with me. In the next chapter, we'll uncover the biggest mistake people make when using the law of attraction, and how Bob Proctor broke that cycle with a simple shift in focus. Have you ever wondered why, even when you're doing everything right, things still don't change? You visualize, you affirm, you feel, you believe, and yet it feels like something is blocking you. Bob Proctor spoke about this with almost brutal honesty. Most people think they're practicing the law of attraction, but what they're really practicing is the law of resistance. Yes, resistance. Because your desire might be clear, but your attention keeps going back to what's missing. You say you want money, but you check your bank statement with fear. You say you want love, but you still feel alone. You say you want change, but wake up every day carrying the same old energy from the past. The law of attraction doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you focus on most. And here's the invisible mistake. You're stuck in the problem, trying to vibrate in the solution. That's like trying to light a candle underwater. Bob taught this. You only attract what is in harmony with your dominant focus. What's dominant focus? It's what takes up the most space in your mind and emotions throughout the day. It doesn't matter if you spend 10 minutes doing a powerful visualization. If the other 23 hours and 50 minutes you're vibrating anxiety, insecurity, comparison, fear, frustration, what do you think will dominate? Your predominant vibration. And that's why most people fail. Because they want to change the world without changing what's feeding their own mind. But Bob had an antidote. Simple, powerful, quiet. Redirect your attention. If you want something, stop focusing on the fact that you don't have it yet. Focus on what represents the presence of that desire. For example, brain want more money? Focus on abundance, in any form. Appreciate everything around you as a symbol of wealth. Brain want freedom? Find small moments of choice in your day and celebrate them like a millionaire would. Brain want recognition? Recognize the value in others, and the vibration of validation will become yours. The truth is, manifestation isn't magic. It's magnetic. You don't force it, you attract it. And you only attract what you're in harmony with. You never change your life by trying to change your life. You change your life by changing your level of consciousness. So, the mistake isn't in the technique. It's in the state of being. And that state only changes when you stop fighting the now and start acting like you're already living the later. You don't wait. You embody. You don't seek. You radiate. You don't ask. You give thanks like you've already received. Now think about this. How many times have you asked with fear? Visualized in a rush? Affirmed with doubt? This is the turning point. From today forward, whenever you think about what you want, ask yourself, is this coming from lack or abundance? Am I trying to fill a void or reinforce what already exists within me? That simple question can change the entire course of your journey. If this is making sense, just imagine what's next. In the next chapter, we'll reveal the exact morning ritual Bob Proctor followed and how you can apply it tomorrow to shift your vibration in the first hours of your day. Never start the day without first putting your mind in the right place. Bob Proctor. That was one of his personal rules, and one of the biggest keys to his prosperity. While the world wakes up on autopilot, rushed, distracted by notifications, carrying over the previous night's thoughts, Bob did the opposite. He created the day before the day even began. With a morning ritual of mental alignment, before checking his phone, before talking to anyone, before any external distractions, he would sit quietly, take a deep breath, and declare to himself, "Today I choose clarity. Today I act with power. Today I am who I was born to be." He didn't let the world decide his state. He decided first. He'd grab his notebook and write down his goals, as if they were already accomplished, with detail, with feeling, with certainty. "I'm so happy and grateful now that," and he'd fill in the scene of the life he wanted to live. He did this every single day, without fail, because he knew the mind needs direction, or it will be ruled by external chaos. After that, he moved on to the second step of his ritual, visualization with identity. It wasn't just about seeing a car, or a house, or money. It was about seeing himself as the person who already owns those things. With posture, with steady breathing, with clear intention, he embodied the vibration. He didn't ask. He saw himself already there. And more than that, he didn't do this for just 30 seconds. Not in a rush. He dove deep until his whole body responded, until his heart raced, until his eyes filled with certainty. And there was still the third step, connection to the source. Bob knew that behind everything, there's an infinite intelligence, a presence, an energy. He called it spirit, God, infinite power. The name didn't matter. What mattered was the recognition. So he'd whisper softly, "Guide me today. Show me who I need to be. Align my steps with the divine mind within me." And then he surrendered, not out of fear, but with faith, with unshakable confidence, knowing everything was already being orchestrated. The entire ritual took about 30 minutes. But according to Bob, this was the most powerful moment of his day, because no matter what came next, he had already set his frequency. And when your frequency is clear, the world responds, because the universe doesn't hear your words. It responds to your vibration. So the question is, how have you been starting your days? In a rush? With worries? With distractions? Or with intention, clarity, and power? You don't have to repeat the past. You can create a new future, starting with your very first thought in the morning. And that's why here's the ritual. Simple, but powerful. When you wake up, before you check your phone, take a deep breath and say to yourself, "Today I decide with confidence. Today I create with intention. Today I am abundance in motion." Grab a pen and paper. Right? "I am so happy and grateful now that," and describe the scene of the life you want to live. Close your eyes. See the scene as if it's real. Feel it. Breathe it in. Internally act as if it's already yours. Finally, guide me today. Let me be a channel for my highest self. Do this for 21 days. You'll notice your reactions shift. Your decisions grow stronger. Your mind starts creating with intention, not just habit. You change. And everything changes with you. If this ritual resonates with you, write in the comments, "I choose my frequency." And remember, every morning is a chance to be reborn, to reprogram, to rebuild your reality. If this video spoke to you, just imagine what's coming next. Subscribe now to Secrets of the Mind. And keep walking this path of transformation with us, one awakening at a time.